put some
Talk
baguettes.
about the Scandinavians for me.
Scandal.
The Scandinavians, yeah, the scandals.
I don't,
Talk about their egalitarian
you know
ways.
I honestly, Gordon, the problem we have is this. And one of the problem we have is we look at others and we think they're different people, they're different race.
Yeah.
The Scandinavians are different. It doesn't take too much
Well, the Scandinavians are tall and attractive and white.
Well, it doesn't
and
matter.
white.
And the white, yes. But now you have a Somalian Scandinavians now. They immigrated to Denmark and Sweden and all these places. Norway, my friend John keeps telling me there's tons of them in Oslo. The immigrants I'm talking about,
well-
the refugees. But
No, fucking let's roll.
I don't know why. What's the story on repatriation? I would have thought I want to go back to my country, because after all these years, I still don't regard this country as my country.
Yeah. Well, I know. And you're loyal to India.
Well-
These days, I don't know if I'm waking up in Cairo or Tehran or Copenhagen. They all look the same.
Yeah.
And why is that?
Well, I think what we're doing.
How do you
is-
feel about multiculturalism?
I don't. I think it's the most horrible thing that ever happened to this planet. And I think there'll be more wars, you know, and more people gonna die, and more people killing and whatever
Yeah.
because of this. We have problem already in London. You see, it's like they're treating us like a little children now. As your parent, you go home and you don't want to tell your little son that
he's
daddy
Indian.
didn't have a good day today, or daddy didn't make any money today. All that, you don't say that. You lie to him.
What has to do with Indians?
No, this is what the government does to us. They're treating us like a little kid. They don't tell us the truth. They tell us what we like to.
So you think it's fake news?
Well, I believe this word. I think the fake news was a very big. People use the fake news, and there you have a situation where people knew about the fake news. Fake news is not a new thing, but to put that on agenda, put that on the front page, put that in everyone's mind. So if you say something, if you read something, well, you could go the other way and say, well, that was fake news. And if you got a reasonable amount of points, you know. So yeah, fake news is a pretty good thing. Not years ago, but a few years ago, and I heard this, and this is very good thing to say. One thing, and that was where what exactly happened. Well, yeah, what we had was
That's why he comes.
yeah. Well, he's been here since over an hour, and he did talk some shit sense, which is not far. It's like I said to you. I asked him, I think a lot of people don't know capitalism, and you people will never mix things. So that's okay. You don't want to mix it. So you can take some of the communist ideas and use them, and you can use the capitalist ideas and use them, and you can, you can't be just liberal, and you can't be just So I don't know. I think the one day will come that where people's got to do what they have to do, and you can't just right wing and whatever, I don't know. So yeah, I mean, we talked about it. We talked a lot about them and the fake news. I think what I was trying to get into the situation was, you come out with some story, whatever you don't like or whatever, and then I can make that sound that you are uh, the fake news is not far off something that, say, is called where the uh, what would it be? Anything similar to the some sort of um, people turn and say, well, he's always talking fake news is a better way to put it.
Fake news.
No, the other one would have been similar to the conspiracy theories, like something similar to that, maybe, right? So,
Away fake news.
well, what I want you to do, you might say something that makes a sense, which is right now, whatever happened, like you'd say, why, whatever, and then I would push you to say something that is, you would turn around and say, well, that, what we got here now is made it sound a conspiracy theory. Completely wrong. The aliens will come from the space and they're gonna just take you away. And then he said, oh well, I think the guy's talking rubbish. But what you had was what you said in the beginning, first whatever 10 minutes, that would made a sense. Then you bought into this conspiracy theory side of it, and then I could wipe all the good thing you said by using you as a, well, not very clever guy. And this is what, anything that you haven't seen or anything, really you can't talk about that much. Because they can put you in that little where they're going to use you as a conspiracy or a whatever. So I personally think people, everyone's mind is different, everyone's way of life is different, everything that everyone does is different. So we cannot tell somebody, or we cannot tell the people that behave this way or do something like this. Another thing I would say is you can't, I want you to behave.
Religion.
Well, yes, but the what I would suggest here is why we need to bring a law, anti-Semitic, anti-religious, and you could be prosecuted and it's a criminal charge. Why would that be if it isn't? If it is all the stories that you've been booked. This man, he's, instead of smoking, he sprays something in his mouth. Did you? Yeah. Anyway, so I would love to.
With religion, it's easier to control them.
Well, there you go. Yes, absolutely right. But what I suggest is this: instead of making the laws or making whatever, a human with a little bit of problem with his mental yeah, little kooky person, religion might help him, and it's okay, no harm in it,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But you don't want to force anything, and I believe that if you don't force people, that is real freedom. That is what it is all about. Otherwise, we could call a lot of things, and then we are still a little communist or the way.
Thus, privacy means freedom.
Well, yes, it's a good question. People, somebody dies and somebody wants to make, and somebody asks for privacy. Somebody will say, "Well, make it biggest thing," and I don't know. I mean, well, I given up on this earth.
How about no fab movement?
No
No fab
Fab 4.
for
No fat means no masturbating. Apparently, apparently you can accrue all sorts of benefits if you just
Well,
stop masturbating.
if you masturbate, what will happen with that would be one thing. You don't rely on this woman. I mean, this man's case is started now. This Hollywood, whatever. He started this company and thing. And they reckon there were over 100 women involved, where he trying to rape them or trying to do things to them. And then there are serious cases of people. Well, this guy, Weinstein, his case is started. Well, one of the case, he has 2 cases to go through, and one is the one now, and then there's a criminal charge. Well, depends how you look at it. You look at it as a Mr. What's this? What would you call yourself, my friend? Are you a sort of what are you? Are you a sort of a do-gooder person? What do they call these people?
Progressive.
Progressive? Well, this man's case
Not
here,
particularly.
don't you think the woman that
You're talking about the judge?
no, this guy is Weinstein.
Oh,
Yes. His case started yesterday.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, well, anyway, I just heard it in the news, so I just say I don't know about the case. Anyway.
I think with all these accusations, one must always remember innocent until proven guilty.
we don't. The different laws applies to different countries. It might be in America, but in here you're guilty before you. That's it. That's how it is. And second thing is, why we not blaming some of these women?
Well, that's quite a contentious thing to say.
Well,
but-
yes, because these women might have laid themselves to get a bigger part.
Well, here's
As I said to
here's
you-
what I think. I think it's unlikely.
Well, unlikely, no.
I think it's so in the case of Weinstein, I think it's highly unlikely
Well,
that you'd have 12 advantageous or however many
100
it's,
maybe.
it's hundreds of women, right? It's a lot of
Right,
women.
right.
I think it's very unlikely that all those women are sociopathic in some way and advantageous. in that
What's the
way.
percentages of people that are sociopath?
they all told each other. So like, look, girls, if you wanted to get a part, you have to
You go and suck his dick. Yes, and I believe that. I believe a lot of these women need. Okay, one or two might have got caught up in the didn't mean to. No means no, but a lot of these women needs to answer this as well, and that is. We talked earlier regarding these people with the poor backgrounds and all that want to go up. There is few ways you can do. One, the way what they say is not true. Lottery, that's the only way, or how you use others to get up to the top by president, prime minister, or somebody in a power. You put everything out on the front of him.
Yeah.
And some of these women, they did what this man says, that they I believe that. I think this is not a own thing. This is in a lot of film industries.
So you think in terms of the Weinstein case that all the women that claim that
No, I didn't say all. I said most of them.
But you think a lot of them were.
Yeah.
But I suppose the climate of this stuff back 20 years ago even was completely different, and that some of them might have gone ahead and slept with him in order to get a role or.
I think not only this case.
You think the majority of them might have.
Yeah, but I don't think even that this case we gotta talk about. We talk about in the past with the loads of things, politics, anything. People slept with the people just to get into the.
Oh, of course, that's been going on since forever.
Yes.
So
why we make a big thing out of it? I don't think.
If there was.
Well, I put. Did you know?
Well, and here's the thing. If you think about back in the I don't know, back in the 80s or whatever. 70s even, when women started working in the offices. I mean, yeah, true that a lot of this stuff was commonplace, but it wasn't considered out of the ordinary back then. Whereas these days, if you did something to somebody, 20 years ago, it can be
yes.
It can be kind of brought back to life.
Yeah, but that is your lawyer needs to fight, and at that time he didn't know whatever. But I look, if you want to go back, you have to go back 30,000 years, 40,000. Your gene, your DNA, all that, and I'm sure. We humans, we are not we talked all these things this morning. You've been here for hours and hours now. We talked about the nurses, and I said, why would you spend so much money? It costs 70,000 pounds, 80,000 pounds to train a nurse in this country, and 5 years or 4 years or whatever. Why? Why would you do that when you know it's a common sense job? It's not as if you are a doctor. You can't do nothing without doctor's permission anyway. So all you need to know is how to read your instruction and thing, and you don't need all that money or all that. So I don't believe personally.
You want some Coca-Cola?
We are.
Yeah, you want some?
We have a problem. Well, you look at it, one president, we look at America because of a simple reason. This country right now doesn't make a sense. Every now and then they have some sort of political problem with the interest rate or something. Straight away, Brexit will come in and he will save the whatever the bullshit you want to put through. So we can't talk about this country. We can talk about
What do you think about the patriarchy? The tyrannical patriarchy?
Well, to who? That's what I would ask first.
Well, to women and to...
Well, I personally don't think... look, there's so many ways, so many different ways people live and people done things. And I think one of the ways I don't know. I think I'll have to go and do some research.
You're going to do some research.